Hello, it's Uncommon Fossil here, and today it's Wednesday, December 8th. And on the Tuesday, 2 days ago, they did an update, which I'm glad, they need to be updating the program, improving it, but that update caused problems. Yesterday, Wednesday, December 7th, was the first day since I've been using the live beta that it was bad. The matchmaking wasn't good. It would take a while. I had to cancel sometimes because it didn't seem like I'd find a match. Even the cancel button would disappear at times, so you couldn't even cancel all the time when you wanted to. And then when you're in matches, things would freeze up for extended times or altogether stop, losing the server or some such issue. Not sure what it is, but here's the good news on their on the login screen, which is why I am starting the video here. They notice they show the banned card, which is a Mungus, which is a odd card what it does. So they'll get that sorted out. That one's not a big deal. But the top part, which is new since yesterday, is we are aware of critical issues impacting gameplay introduced with the latest update, including a bug affecting energy attachments to cards, which is probably the issues that were just wrecking the games yesterday. We are actively investigating these issues and working toward a resolution as soon as possible. Thanks for your patience at this time. So that's good. Look, obviously the issues aren't good, but the fact is they've recognized they're acknowledging issues and they're working on it, so hopefully it gets resolved soon. So I'm going to try jumping on. Let's see how it's working today. I'll hit play. I have a revised Blissey Miltank deck. All right, so found a match. Oh, look at that. The glasses are clear as I wish them to be. They often revert to a sunglass look, which is not how I want it to be. That's obviously a very minor issue, but we'll see if that's stable. So anyway, got a match. That's a positive. We will see how the gameplay works. Blissey Miltank, as I believe I said, is the deck, slightly revised deck list, which I'll include in the description below. And I'll talk about the deck. Hopefully, we'll see how the game goes. Does this game actually work today? But that's something to see too. I do wish that the timer would start on people. There's often a significant lag at the start of games. I'd like to see it speed up. So playing Dunsparce. Likely a Lugia deck. I'll attach DTE so I can attack next turn. Now it does 20 less damage, so Miltank doesn't do a lot of damage anyway. Now it's doing very little, but that's what it is. In this deck, I've removed Dunsparce. It used to play Dunsparce. It is a good card. I haven't seen a huge need for Dunsparce, not a lot of fighting, so I've deleted it from the deck to get some deck space. That might need to go back in. Tweak the energies a little bit, not going to switched out one Lucky Energy and replaced it with a Capture. I think that makes the deck a little more consistent. The biggest change I made is I added 3 Avery to the deck. I have one in hand here. A nice supporter, you draw 3. If I drew any cards that way, the opponent discards Pokemon from the bench list down to 3. So that's a punishing card to a lot of decks. The Lugia deck is one that doesn't like it because they have, as they fill things up, if he has here his Charizard, he gets down at least in Archeops, a couple the Lugia V-Star or 2. That's fine. I don't know why they played down Collapse Stadium. It seems like they should be waiting on that to bump Path. I think that was a mistake on their part. Blissey Miltank's a deck that takes patience, I will say. You just kind of play the game slowly. Don't worry about things too much. So right now I'm doing a big 10 damage, which is fine. I think I'm going to gust up the Charizard. I will attach a Cape. Not doing a lot of damage, but that's okay. I'm going to play... Well, actually, maybe I don't want a Marnie. They didn't get a lot going, so I will Zinnia's Resolve, get rid of 2. I want to save the Avery. Avery would have drawn me 3. We'll We'll see what happens. That's not great. I needed to get another Pokemon to play. Vulnerable to... I shouldn't get knocked out, though. They didn't get a Lugia V down, which means they can't evolve to the V-Star. They can't accelerate Archeops to the bench yet. So they had a bad start, so I'm okay in that regard. I would like to knock out the Radiant Charizard. Dunsparce is not a Pokemon I care about. They can always Cheren's carried away if I put damage on it, which is also an advantage to not hitting into it. Depending what they do, we'll see what I do this turn. Capture, so they're going to probably play down a Lugia V. We will see. Yeah, because they don't really want to use the V-Star power next turn. I'll probably need to use a Marnie this turn because I really want to get a path down this turn. We'll see what happens. They may be starting to discard Archeops. They have one in the discard pile. I would imagine they're going to draw an Archeops. No Lugia V-Star, so that's a surprise. So now Marnie is even more attractive because they'll kind of wasted the incense in that regard. Wow, they're discarding that Lugia V-Star. Surprised by that, I gotta say, because they do. I mean, they see the Miltank. They probably should assume I have Blissey. You never know what their experience level is. So I'm doing 30. I could attach to get to 40, but 50, but I don't think that's worth it. So I'm going to Marnie. I am starting to, especially because I don't have path down, I am a turn away from losing potentially. So I'm going to get down a Blissey, and I'll discard an energy. And I will discard the V-Guard and attach the Powerful. We'll find out if that's the right play. Throw him down. Attach Powerful. And I'll throw down another Miltank because I'm going to want him in the game probably. They could gust up the Miltank and kind of put me in an awkward spot, so it might have been a misplay. Maybe I should attach the V-Guard energy to the Blissey V. I don't know. I don't have Cape on the Blissey, so he's vulnerable to getting knocked out. The thought behind it is I attach the Powerful because I'll do more damage if I attack with him next turn, and then I can accelerate the V-Guard with the attack, so I get the protection the following turn. I get the boosted damage on the turn I attack, and the buff of the protection on when my opponent attacks back into me. So that's the logic behind that play. Kind of a generally sound logic. Whether it was the right logic in this situation, I don't know. So as long as they get Archeops, a Lugia V-Star, they'll get the two Archeops on the bench. Actually, yes. Are they going to play? I assume they won't play Manaphy. I'm not sure why they got Manaphy. Just thinning the deck, I guess. Yeah, just, okay. Getting a card that they want to discard to increase the odds of hitting the cards they want. So there's certainly a sound play. They got the Lugia V-Star. They'll throw two Archeops on the bench. Probably knock out my Miltank. They use their supporter. They can't boss up Blissey. It's very unlikely they play Cross Switcher. If they were to play a rope, which they could, then I will probably toss up the Miltank. If they were going to play rope, they should use the rope before accelerating. So anyway, they two attachments, and they will power up this Pokemon, one DTE, and any other energy gets that there. Maybe a V-Guard energy just for some protection. I'm not going to be able to knock it out on the next turn, so that's not great. I'm now in a bad spot, for sure. So we'll see what happens here. Not loving my position. My opponent's not playing that fast. Let's see. They have no energies in the discard, which is very good for them. One way to win against Lugia is to let them run out of energy. Being Blissey's kind of a slow, patient deck with healing, and they can run out of energy. Now, are we seeing a glitch in the game? Or is my opponent just this slow? We may be seeing live failing. I don't know. The timer's tricky too. I don't know when it started. So we're like 1920 right now. I'm pretty sure we're past the time it should have taken. I will let the timer go down to maybe 18 minutes on their part. We will sit here together and see if the game works yet. Obviously on the announcement coming in, the notification, they did indicate they were still working on it, which would seem to indicate it wasn't fixed. So honestly, it happened. It shouldn't take that long though. So that's still. I mean, first it's bad for me. They've got things set up. I'm in a bad spot. I don't think my opponent should be allowed to take that long to make their attachments. So it may indicate a problem with the game. So let's say 1840-ish when it started. We'll see how long it takes. If they were looking through the deck last time, they should hopefully remember what's in the deck and don't need to search through it so much again. This should be faster, we'd hope. We'll see what they attach to. The choices are, do they attach to the Archeops, which will hit through a Miltank, or do they attach to Lugia V Star? I would think from their standpoint, attaching to Archeops might be the smarter play, because they're going to have to get through this other Miltank of mine. I mean, they can get through it with Radiant Charizard. I'm not in a good position. I certainly know that. I'm going to push the Blissey into the active. It does 10, 30, 40, 50. It's doing, does 30, 40, 50, 60 right now. So I can't knock him out. Even with another powerful, I won't get there. I guess that's the V-Guard, this little weird symbol. I'm finding that really odd. These five, so there's 5 energies? Is that what that is? I'm confused by this little X symbol on the Pokemon. It's an energy. Okay, so I'll send up Blissey, I guess. I might be able to survive. No, I'm well, if I get Cape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they have 6 energies. Oh, I guess that was just an indication that he had excess energy on the Pokemon. That's what it meant. The color and symbol. I don't know. It's strange. That's gone away now. All right. What do I do? He's gonna knock me out. Not good for me. Yeah, this is bad. Bad with the capital B-A-D. Anyway. My turn's done. They're gonna knock me out. Let's see, they have 90 HP. I'm just not getting enough damage on. I'm just gonna concede at this point. I can't. Well, even with a cape, I'm knocked out. I could hit into boss. All right, I'm gonna concede. This game did not go well. I didn't start. They started well. They didn't start great. Neither started great. Anyway, good job by my opponent. I'm going to. We'll try. So game worked. That's a plus. Things seemed a little slow in the midst, but it worked. I'll try one more game. See how it works. Looking for the match. Hopefully the matchmaking works. Then we'll see if the game gets through. So the last game did work. Yesterday when things weren't good, the games would work. It's just they didn't work consistently. That's what I'll say. Oh, my sunglasses have reverted to my glasses reverted to sunglasses. I think that's actually common. First game it's okay. Second game it reverts. I don't know. Again, that's not a big issue. It's really the gameplay is the major issue. So I'm going first, which I want. Blissey. I have Greninja, which is nice also. So they're Gengar. Okay, so Hisu. So all right. So they're gonna play the damage one. The Pokemon that boost damage based on the based on the number of Pokemon. Their damage is based on the number of damage Pokemon they have in play. So they can one-shot me. So I really kind of need to set up here. Yeah, Hisuian Zoroark. That is the name which I was looking for. I think I'm going to want to play the Capture Energy, so I will concealed cards away the Powerful, because I want to get another Pokemon on the bench. So I will attach the Capture, throw down a Miltank because they'll have to work through that. I don't believe they hit through abilities, and end turn. I'm trying to remember with Hisuian Zoroark V-Star what it does. So they play Gapejaw Bog to get down damage on their Pokemon. I don't really like that. Although with Cheren's Care, it does give me the ability to put any of those Pokemon into hand. So they got rid of a boss. That's good to know, and good for me in the long run. I would certainly like to bump the Gapejaw Bog if I can with a path. I play 4 path in the deck. If I would really like to play a path this turn, in fact, my next turn, because it would stop them from using their V-Star power, which is quite good. If I remember correctly, it allows them to discard their hand and draw 7. I believe that's the right V-Star power for this Pokemon. We'll see. We will see it, though. So Path will be useful. Plus, I want to protect my own Pokemon from getting damaged. At this point, I will discard the hand. I will use Quick Ball to get... what do I want to get in play? Another Blissey or a Miltank? That's the question. That's a question there. I've got to kind of see which way it works. They play Colorless's Experiment as just as a draw. I don't know if they play any other Lost Zone cards. What did they do? They played Damage Pump. They moved the damage onto the Radiant Pokemon. They didn't put damage on the active, which I'm surprised by, because that reduces... they could have... I would thought they would have wanted to put 10 on the active Pokemon. I'm pretty sure they could, right? I don't believe there's anything that restricts that. No. All right, so I want to... I'm going to research. They're nice cards, but that's okay. I'll get a second Miltank into play. I'm not going to use Radiant Greninja at this point in time. Okay, got a path, so that's nice. Stop his ability, and now throw down this other Blissey. I would have very much liked to get a Cape down, but didn't hit that, so doing only 40, which does increase their damage. We'll see if they can knock me out this turn. I did get a V-Guard energy, so it reduces by 20. No, it reduces by 30. That's why I was looking to see what it did. So Gengar on the discards, so they're going to get the numbers to probably knock out my active. Now, Gengar does take Psychic. So they... All right, so the Gengar places... If they play Psychic Energy... yeah, so the V-Star discard your hand, draw 7. So it's a free research. They're researching. If they can bump the stadium, they can essentially research again. And they did get their stadium down. We'll see what they do. They have knockout on my active. Can they get through my Miltanks, right? That's the question. I assume they don't play Fighting Energy. They may play Psychic Energy. I mean, if they play Aurora, they could attack with either. Gengar's attack, if they can utilize it, 2 damage counters on my active based for each of my opponent's benched Pokemon. So I do not want to utilize that. I mean, I want to keep my bench small. That was what I was trying to say. Oh, so they missed the knockout. So my V Guard Energy saved the day. So I do have Cheren's Care. The question is, or a question, and I think I want to Cheren's Care send up my Miltank. I think that's the play. I'll send up Miltank. I will use my ability since they bump path. I will get rid of the capture. I think that's the least useful of them. I was hoping to get a DTE, although in the long run this is better. I will throw down the Powerful Energy. I might even Cheren's Care the Miltank. I have 2 Cheren's Care, so getting him into play is nice. He's my opponent now can move the damage off the Hisuian Zoroark to other Pokemon. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right now I've got 5 prizes in up to 5 prize cards in play. Obviously, if they take all the Pokemon I have, they win the game. I'm just making, I want to make sure that they can't beat me without hitting through both my Miltank. I could throw down an additional Miltank if I wanted to. 1, 2, 3. Because that would not, I don't want to. I want to make my opponent work through the Miltanks. I could even scoop up the Radiant Greninja at some point, although I play 3 Miltanks, so I don't believe I've discarded one. No, I haven't discarded much energy, and for Blissey, obviously, discarded energy is good. Now, I guess is my opponent going to switch Pokemon? I'm not sure why they moved energy damage to the active. Unless they want to get knocked out. I don't think they would, but perhaps they do. I don't want to increase my bench, though, because the Gengar. So I'm just reminding myself of what I'm supposed to be doing. Things I've said and I've already forgotten because I get distracted, lose my focus. I'm guilty of that for sure. The talking I'm doing, which for you, obviously sharing what's going through my head, but also just trying to remind myself of what to do. Now, they're taking a long time. Once again, the question, is my opponent just being slow, or is there a problem with the game? I think I'm in a pretty good position in this game. So they passed or timed out. So what do I want to do now? I want to... So how much damage? I'm doing 150. So I think I want to knock somebody out. If I knock out the Gengar, they throw it back on the bench, though, right? So that doesn't help me. I could knock out a Rangaroo. I could knock... what I want to do... I could thin their bench down, too. No, I don't think I want to do that. So I think I want to... So I'm going to boss... Whoop. I'm going to boss up Rangaroo. Not positive on that one move, but that's the play I'm taking. Again, I was tempted to knock out the Gengar, but then I realized it's just going to go back on the bench. It won't get me anywhere. I would like to knock out the Crobat. I don't have knockout at the moment on it. I think I was 10 short. So with a Powerful Energy, if I hit another boss, I can knock them out. Got to think about this. My opponent's being slow. I think they might be just playing slowly. it's hard to know, right? Look, if my opponent's just slow because that's the pace they feel comfortable playing at, that's okay. It's not ideal, but hey, I'm not the fastest player in the world myself, and if they're new and uncomfortable, give them leeway. It's okay. If they're slow playing on purpose to annoy me or try to force me into conceding, that's not good, and that is a risk with this ranked ladder system. But my opponent conceded. They were just thinking, do they have a win condition? So that game was going pretty well. Oh, they were inactive for too long. So that was interesting. I wish I had clicked off that as quick, but it said I won because my opponent was inactive for too long. I never saw the game timer. I wonder if my opponent did. I guess I know at times I've seen the game counter, the 15-second counter blip on. My opponent was inactive for too long, so that's why they lost. So this ladder, it looks like I'm going to be in the Great League as a Greninja at the end of it. Probably I'm not going to play that much. So I'm kind of middle of the road, which is fine. I know I was a day or two behind, a few days behind because I didn't start till the global beta launched. Not going to worry about that. So anyway, there you see the game is working for the most part. It might not be working great, but it appears to be working. We'll see how it goes. Yesterday, as the day went on, I got fed up with live. I posted in the forum that, hey, that you have issues. One of the people that posted there, we want to let Pokemon know. And then I said, hey, I'm going to switch to PTCG, which is what, look, if you haven't migrated to your account yet, and would just encourage you to still wait to migrate. We just don't know in the future how many bad days are going to be. It's a beta still. It's not great when things like this happen, but they can happen. But at least Pokemon's aware of the issue, and hopefully it gets resolved soon. Take care.